All right, we're moving on now to page customization, and there's quite a lot to say on this part. Okay, so I've broken it down into a few little pieces. The first thing that I want to say, if you are customizing templates or starting a site from scratch, one really important setting before you get started on all of this customization is to make sure you do go back to your site settings, into your site details, and then scroll down to where we've got the color palette. And I've got various color palettes in here from templates we've been building, but make sure that you click on to each of these and put your colors in, okay? Because if you've preloaded your color palette into this section of your site settings, it's going to pull through anytime you want to edit something on a page, and it's going to make it much, much quicker for you. You don't want to be going looking up your hex code every single time. So put your colors in here. You can always click to reset it to the default palette if you want to, okay? But just wanted to start with that before we get into this. Now, one of the things that comes up quite often, my logo is miniature. Let me just make it a bit bigger. There we go. Doesn't look quite as ridiculous now. Now, I do get asked quite a lot, do I have to apply the branding across all of the pages individually? And the answer is yes, okay? On those standalone landing pages, they're all individual. You could customize them all completely differently. So the branding is separate per page. So by standalone pages, again, I mean back here, in the pages area of your account on that landing tab, okay, all of these individual pages, they have their own branding. So you do have to do the branding application per page, okay? Having your color palette loaded in the site settings is going to make it a bit quicker, but it is still going to be a bit of a time-consuming task. Any of your website theme areas, so if I go back over here to the website tab that we were working with earlier, wait for that to load. Okay, so if you put in your branding into any of the website theme areas, that is what we call global. So if you apply like a font, a header font and a body font and the button color, that sort of stuff into the blog, it will carry across into each of the other areas of your website theme. So the branding, much, much quicker to do inside of the website theme, okay? For those individual landing pages, you do have to do it page at a time. All right, so once you have got your colors into your site settings, okay, your hex codes in there so that you're not looking them up every time, the next thing that I would do is come over into the settings of the page that you are working with and come into this style guide area. And just make a few changes in the style guide section itself, because this will also make updating of the page much quicker. So you can see here that for the Tina template, the primary color is blue. So whatever you would like to be the accent color, swap it there. The buttons, we have specified for the buttons on the Tina template to be pink with white text and solid, which means that it's not outlined like this. Now, whatever you set in here, any new buttons you add to the page, they're going to take on the settings that you've got in here. But if there are times on the page where you want the button to be a different color, or you do want it to be an outline like this one, you can still click into the button itself and specify outline, specify a color, okay? So you can still override it at the block level, but I would start by putting in your, what you would like the button to be most of the time. I would put that into the page settings. So over here again, you put in your primary color, change your button. I'll just go with a gold for now for an example. Do you want most of the buttons to be solid or outline? The size? Square like that, or would you like them to be more of like a pill shape? Then we come down here and we talk about the body font. What do you want the body font on the page to be? What do you want the header font to be? What color do you want the heading font to be? So I'll just go with a gold again just to show how things change. So you can go through and you can do a few settings there, okay? Your font sizes. So I would do all of that first before I start customizing the page. And often, if I'm working on like several pages for a client, for example, at one time, I would open up all of the pages across the top of my browser and I'd go through and I would do these settings, these style settings on all the pages at the same time so that I'm sure in my head everything's nice and consistent. Click save on the style settings and then go through and do my page updates. Now, once you have got your style settings in there, you can save that. And anywhere where we haven't overridden the inside of the block, something like the button color, it's going to take on whatever we've just put into the style settings. So you can see that the heading color changed, the buttons changed, heading there. Okay, and there'll be certain parts of the page where things didn't update because for whatever reason, we've overridden it inside of the block. Do I have any examples on this page? No, this one pretty much is updated in full. But you can see there that just by putting it into the style settings first and clicking save, it has saved us a lot. Want to change it back to what it was before, I can just come up and use that undo button and save, and everything should go back to the pink. Just wait patiently for that. Did it? No. What have I done? Hang on. Okay, so they are the style guide settings. I would do that first before we get into all of the actual on-page customization, which we're coming back to do in a minute.